What's up, guys? TKS Hobby here. You see I got a few tools out on the workbench because I had to modify a couple of parts, a couple things. You can hear that in this. You can see some scratches on this too. It's not scratches. I had to take my Dremel and machine this part a little bit, because when you get it, if you can see what I'm showing you here, this edge, this tapered edge, it shapes out in these areas where I dremeled it down, and it stops you from being able to push it flush when you want to mount it in the car right here. It keeps it from going all the way in, and then you have to deal with that issue of it not fitting, which is what the review said about this part. This part is inexpensive though. It's better than spending $60 and $70 in my opinion. If you have a Dremel. If you don't have a Dremel, I guess you got to do what you got to do, because you know, this is garbage. We know this is garbage. It's wafer thin, and you crash. The minute you crash, because it's in a plastic housing and everything flexes, it bends, and you have problems. We're hoping that doesn't happen with this, you know. If it does, well, guess what? They cost about the same. That's crazy, right? We talking about Arrma. And this is how I got my mesh together. I had to cut the back of the old housing out and put this over it with the bearing in there. The bearing's not in there now, to set this mesh the way it needed to be set. Right now, because it's moving, you know, this part moves. That's why you can never get the mesh set. With it open like this, this is just gonna move, and you're never gonna get a proper setting. So I had to do that. And then with this, like I said, I had to take my Dremel and Dremel down those edges. So now when it goes on here, put it in place. Look at that. Right in. You can see, let me get my flashlight so you can see everything is flush down the way it's supposed to be in here. You're looking at that, getting the right angle. I'm trying to get the best angle so you guys can see. So see, now it's sitting in there flush, and it's right, and it's not gonna move all over the place. And that's the big deal with getting upgrade parts for this, any of the Arrma 3S line. Because with that being the way it was, when you put this on here, and you gotta put this on here yourself after you get this installed, because it's not gonna flex. So you have to screw that down, and it has to sit like it's sitting so that you can screw it down. As you can see, what you can see in here, you can see the holes going right through the body. I'll just show the light like this, so you can see the holes lining right up now, because I took the time to do that little modification to it. So now for the same price as this plastic one, and I've looked, there are some places that sell it fairly cheap, but then you gotta buy two just so you can set the mesh and have one, and then you gotta keep rebuying these things because they get bent up and all of that kind of stuff. I don't want to do that. So I bought that, and I got this. So I'm gonna put my housing together now. Oops. It's together. You hear that sound? That's a good mesh. That's what you want. A good mesh. And I'm gonna use the original screws. I know I need to put some Loctite. That's what you gotta have. You gotta have your Loctite. If you're gonna go metal to metal, you gotta do that. And once we tighten this down, we can throw this in. Mainly this video is about just showing you the mod I had to do on this. I'm gonna share the links for everything. My center drive shaft, the prices on eBay for this and on Amazon for this. The center, you know, they're pretty much the same for this particular motor mount / spur gear housing. It's the same price, so I didn't see the difference. I need to do a different thing. I didn't see a need to use different screws. Still hear my pretty sound. So now this can go in. Turn this way. Hold it. There we go. Spur gear and everything set up and pile. We're in there. We're in there, guys. Perfectly. Nice and tight. Put my axle back in so I can see how that's really turning. And in there. That. Oh, got something very important. This is important. There we go. Don't seem that was the motor and everything now. So what we will want to do, we're gonna have to do it, guys. We're gonna have to do it. Give me a second. Okay, gang. I know y'all didn't want to see me buttoning up and everything, but I got it installed. Got it locked down. Everything's looking good. I hope I got my meshes right. He's alive, you guys. He has power. He has power. We really gotta hope for the best. With some of this other stuff where, you know, you got, I'm gonna go ahead on and lock down some of these wires right quick. She's in there, right, guys? She's in there. You got these two spots that'll hold your battery wires. So it's fairly buttoned down. That's a 2S press. Yeah, guys. Gonna put my center brace in. Get back with you in a second. I got the center brace in. As you can see, I had to flip it around because the connection here that ties the spur gear housing and all of that to the rear diff housing. You know, that part's it's just a straight piece, and it was just too much plastic here to set it flush on this. back here. As you can see, there's a lot of plastic in this. I'm hoping it does do this a little bit. I'm hoping I don't have a real problem with that. I guess that's the price that I'm paying for. I'm not certain about that either. It appears to be anyway, the price that I'm paying for having used parts from the Vortex, you know, the shock towers and stuff from the Vortex. So, because it's not as high, I'm not gonna go through putting all that stuff together and installing it and seeing all of that, because the way I got my brace, I got these pieces, this stuff here. I bought the brace once and it was the wrong length, but it came with all of this already installed. So those portions, those pieces, I will give you the links for those, all the pieces that you need to install the brace. I will do that, including the right size brace for the Arrma Big rock. I'll give you all the links for that. But I didn't have to buy all of that stuff because of the, you know, situation with the Vortex shock towers and diff covers having certain parts already as a part of it. That's the case, I think, also with the 4S line. It comes with the, you know, the chassis. Since it comes with a chassis brace, center brace, it comes with that already in the molding. So, I mean, I don't know. If I'm Arrma, I'm probably gonna just make them all that way and save money on part production, because you'll have the molding. You won't have to have as many molds, so you don't have to make as many different parts. From what I'm seeing as building the vehicle, it seems like everything's the same, except you know, lower chassis lengths. That's what parts that's different. But anyway, this is installed. I did get to take some shortcuts, like I said, because of the way I made purchases. But we fired it up. We see that it's all running smooth. Everything's good. I don't have any issues, you know. Turning things. It feels like it's not smooth. It does. It feels like it's not smooth. Going backwards. I guess I should have did forward and reverse. I know sometimes gears have break-in time. I know the rear was stiff anyway. But that's what I'm saying when you're talking about Arrma stuff. It doesn't seem as smooth as it should be. Like it's not consistent, like they're not taking into account quality control. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just say that that's the case. It's kind of ticky, isn't it? Look at it. You do all of this, but I used Arrma parts. Now you can get hot racing stuff to replace this with. I'm gonna fire it up again just because. You know, I had taken the battery and everything out because I was putting the brace in. But I'm gonna fire it up again just to see how it rolls. I mean, it seems fine when you're driving it, but then it seemed fine, I guess, with those plastic gears and everything in there too. So that's something to take into consideration. Servo's fine. Doesn't have much coast after you've done it. See, I guess it has what it has. That sounds a little weird, don't it? It was really tight in here too. I mean, I could slide a piece of paper in it, and that's why I put this little thing in here to kind of force the center, the spur gear back, because I didn't show you that. But when you put this on, it might be a good idea to Dremel that edge of where the gear comes out at the bottom of this on the front half here, because it was really close. So I'm wondering, you know, if that's what I'm hearing. don't sound as smooth as it could. It could just be that break-in thing that you have to do sometimes. You know, only time will tell. Only time will tell. I'm gonna take it out for a test run, shake all that stuff down. But as far as it goes right now, it seems okay. Seems like everything is okay and doing what it should do, function the way it should function, you know. But like I said, I'm of the mind that this thing is a money pit. I mean, all of the other vehicles, obviously, the price point must make a difference. You know, my Techno buggy, that's a rebuild. That was nice. My Traxxas Rustler, it's kind of straightforward. That was nice. Even this Red Cat, you know, this the 8E, you know, it went well. You know, I don't really know. Traxxas up there, you have to think about that stuff. My shelf, I have all kind of stuff on it right now because I'm building. I clear it off and put RCs back where they belong. You know, it's kind of a mess right now, but I'm kind of like that. I get everywhere when I'm doing a build, and then when the build is done, I can, you know, tighten everything back up in the shop. But yeah, like I said, it time will tell. You know, you don't know until you know about certain things, and now we got to look at performance. I did try to take the time to address the weak points, you know, that were discussed in other reviews that I looked at to see if I even wanted to do this build. I did do some pricing on things, researching some things. I did find out that as far as differentials go, you're gonna pay 4S, 6S differential prices for any upgrade differentials for this. Whereas other 110 scale models, they already come with Metal Gear differentials. You know, I guess metal quality is something to take into consideration. But if it's gonna be the upgrade and it's gonna be metal and you're gonna pay what you would pay for a differential for a Techno, for a Traxxas, for, you know, these companies, well, Traxxas and Red Cat, I think you can get the differentials Metal Gear and they're more durable for less money. So it's kind of weird, you know what I mean? When you look at it, I'm just going from what I've experienced with the vehicles that I bought. I'm not trying to make this a long drawn out video. I've already been on here a little while. I just wanted to show you that. Done it a couple times. I got a whole lot more that I could say. I mean, but I don't want to turn this into a 30, 40 minute rant. Anyway, I will say this. If you're a newbie to the RC hobby, I wouldn't go with this one. I wouldn't do this one because there's too much that you have to do to make it even semi-reliable. You know, I just threw these heat sinks on there just for test purposes. I'm gonna get a fan. Yeah, I would go with you know, the parts are kind of expensive, but from what I've been hearing about it, you get the Team Associated Rival 110 scale rival, not the A scale, but the 110 scale. You get that one. It's like a little mini tank out the box, and it's right in this price point with this. All metal differentials. I don't think it uses a slipper clutch. I think it uses a straight spool. I don't know a lot about that. I'm gonna have to find out some things. But at the price point, it doesn't have these issues. I haven't seen anybody making complaints. It's got one issue that they talk about, and it's the A-arms. A-arm replacements, you're gonna do that if you just learn how to drive an RC. So maybe they figured that. I'll make that the weak point. You're gonna break it anyway and wanna upgrade it. Then when you upgrade that, you'll be free to crash and bash all you want, and you won't really break anything else. You know what I mean? Barring you have a really significant crash. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this during the build, after the build, just with all the reviews, just for the fact that you got to do this much to make it reliable enough to take out and maybe get a pack or two out of it before you have to do anything. I'm not even sure of that yet, because it's the time of this video is January like 23rd or something like that. It's winter, so I don't know if I'm gonna get a good day. There's some 40-degree days in the forecast. Hopefully I'll get out and take it for a spin, see what happens. Beyond that, like I said, that's pretty much it. Don't recommend it for new RCers. RCers with some skill, with tools and stuff like that, go ahead, give it a shot. See what you do. Hopefully everything will work out well for you. At any rate, this is TKS Hobby. If you ain't crashing, you ain't bashing. Stay safe, guys, and be blessed.